Coming up in today's show.
And one of our most popular podcasts this year was with David Harrington. And we have also got his brother, Mr. Darren Harrington, with price this year. The prices is mighty this year.
Yeah, as you do. I think I bought a new saw. One fella came in and said that I stole it from somewhere, I can't remember where, that was also stolen. And sure, that grew more. And then I just recently bought still 261. That was stolen. So many fake accounts using everything, using my picture and everything. So
that's kind of telling you though where RT is heading, like the chef out of Super Value. Dancing with the stairs.
Not all superheroes wears capes. Some wear wellies.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. One of our most popular podcasts this year was with David Harrington. And we have also got his brother, Mr. Darren Harrington, with us, all the way from Kerry. He was above in Sligo delivering furniture. And I says, would you be able to do a podcast? And he says, why not? And here he is, the mighty Darren Harrington official, if you're following him on TikTok.
How are you, James? It's no need to use the official. The official is only for TikTok, but pleasure to be here.
You're in the middle of lambing season.
Nearly finished now. Nearly finished. We've only about 10 or 12 to go, and we're done with lambing.
Had you many to lamb?
We had 88 in total to lamb.
Oh, very good.
So it wasn't too many. We've only 95 sheep in total. So there was 7 that were, I suppose, dry. So they went off with the ram for a while. So they're still with the rams, and if they come into lamb, they come into lamb. If they don't, they don't.
So you give them a second chance, you do?
Yeah. So we sponged all our sheep this year.
Yes.
So we've batch done. First batch was done with 45 out of 50 were in lamb. Second batch was 38 or something out of 40 or something like that. So
how do you work for the rams? Because you can only have 7 or 8 really.
Yeah. So we have 5 of our own rams, and then we get a few more rams in from a neighbour.
Yeah.
That has a few extra rams. So it works out. We think we have about 7 or 8 rams for the few weeks.
And of course, the benefit of the sponging is they're lambing all around the one time, like.
Exactly. So we know roughly when they're going to lamb, and I suppose the most of them land within probably 2 weeks. So out of everything, we're only lambing since the 21st of January, and we've only about 10 or 12 left.
Oh man!
So nearly by the time March comes, we will be completely clean with lambing. We have about 7 or 8 pets, but that's the norm when it comes to lambing.
And the cull, whatever doesn't take the second time, do you get rid of them or do you try them the year after?
Sometimes it depends really on what will, if they're a good sheep, if they're not a good sheep, broken mouth, so on and so forth, bad udders. So if they're bad, they'll go. If they're not, they might be kept. It really varies each year.
Yes.
So herself is forever buying sheep. She's mad after the black sheep, so those numbers are coming down a bit. So we'll be going after some more black. I don't know what, I can't pronounce the name. They call them. It's
warbles, I bet you, is it?
That's the one. Yeah, that's the one she's mad about.
They're a great sheep. They're a big, strong sheep, so they.
Yes, so we had 3 sets of triplets this year. One of them was with the black sheep, but most of them had twins.
Yeah,
we have a lot of twins this year now, more than singles. But I'm not going to complain.
Would you call it what you're at, lowland, or are you on the hill, or?
I suppose a mixture of low and high.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of mountainous land, but we have good enough land that they can graze. Low land, I suppose you call it, but a lot of the land is mountainous.
Yes.
So when they're all strong enough and whatever, they'll go up the mountain, and then by the time you start separating taking the lambs away, then the sheep will go away, and the lambs will come into the shed, and they'll stay there until we sell them, whenever that may be. Probably the first lot will probably be going May, June, depending. So they're coming like the lambs we have now. There's probably about 15, 20 kg already.
Yes.
And they're only a few weeks old. So
well, you're relatively early, so you're going to do well, I'd say, on the price this year. The prices is mighty this year.
Yeah, it's always the first lot of lambs always make the best price. It's then as you get lower, as the months go on, the price gets lower. But we'd hopefully make a good price this year, like we did last year.
I'd say you'll do well this year. Late lamb this year was an awful price. I there 3 weeks ago, I got 203 for 2 lambs. They were 47 kilos. Aye, and there were just skitters that was left from last year's batch, if you get me. They came late, you know, and they didn't get much in the line of feeding. I have to be truthful about it. They just got the grass and about died.
You don't win at that price, no, in fairness.
Oh, I was very happy. So I was. I went to Imelda's and had a full dinner after it. I was that happy, so I did. I says I can afford to eat.
Yeah, no, we normally go to Kenmare Mart.
Kenmare.
It's only 20 minutes from us. Then obviously there's Macroom is about 40 minutes away, but we normally go to Kenmare.
Where is the big mart down there for the suck calves?
What, you have Macroom Mart, you have Milltown Mart. I suppose Macroom would be the biggest mart around us, I suppose.
Yeah.
I know it's Cork, but it's probably the biggest mart that I would be thinking that would be there, because it's massive unit. Kenmare Mart, it's grand. It's grand for, you know, you people coming from Cashtown-Bear to Kenmare Mart.
Yeah.
They're coming an awful distance because it's the nearest mart for them at times.
And is the year ones down there, are they mostly private owned, or is it that there's a local cooperative or something that has them?
No, I think they're all privately owned farmers.
Yeah.
So, you know, like there's sheep farmers to the left of us, the right of us.
No, but the marts themselves.
Oh, the marts. Oh, yeah, it's owned by local councillor Dan McCarthy.
All right.
So he runs the Kenmare Mart.
Yes.
So he's busy between the marts and the council. So he's forever on the road.
You're busy yourself because you're at farming and you're working for a furniture company as well.
Yeah, so between the farming and then I'm working for Mango Crafts. Started with them a little over a year ago now at this stage. So I suppose I'm working with timber full time now. Between timber with Mango and timber in the forestry or wherever I may be cutting timber.
You do a good scatter of the chainsaw work as well.
Or I try to do, you know, at times, you know, but I have my two stills, my little Echo, as my good friend now would say, it's only a little handsaw in my hands at times because it's so small, but I make it look so small. But yeah, I know, like, we have a forestry at home, my parents, and after Storm Ewan, we lost about 20 or 30 trees, so at the moment now I'm cutting up all the knocked ones for them, and it's great fun.
Yeah. What's the trailer load of timber down there now making?
I don't know. I've never sold timber. I never will sell timber.
Yeah.
I cut my own timber, and I'll bring a trailer load from my parents or bring a trailer load home for myself, but I've never sold it. I suppose to me there's no money worth in cutting timber by the time you have the tree felled. Luckily, these are knocked. By the time you have it cut, brought out, brought home, split, bagged, to me there's no money in it.
Yeah, it was better to keep it.
And it's just easier to keep it and bring it home and burn it. Like a lot, as you know, spruce is probably the most useless timber for firewood.
Yeah.
Because once it's dry, it dwindles nothing. But at home now, in my ourselves place, there's an awful amount of ash.
I'll bring you up there, the shed after the storm. I suppose if it half filled now already, but it'll be filled now within the month. But it's mostly ash and sycamore, and there's one bit of chestnut in it as well. But that'll take a sight of time to dry.
Yeah.
So it will.
No, like the ash I cut last year, there was one tree. I suppose some say I shouldn't have cut it, but the reason I cut it is because we have, as you know, with silage bales, crows. Mm-hmm. They were living in the tree and they were attacking the bales. So I took away the one tree that they stayed on.
Yeah.
Like it was a mighty size of an ash. It was unfortunately, it was a fully grown ash tree. It didn't have dash dieback, but I had no choice but to get rid of it because I was sick to the death of the crows.
Have they stopped since? Has it cut out the problem?
Yeah, no, haven't really seen them as much. There's no tree close enough that they would land. There is a nice sycamore tree that I'm meaning to cut, but I don't want to cut it because sycamore would be my favourite tree, and it's a perfectly rounded tree. Mm-hmm. And it is taking a view, but each year it blossoms. There's lovely trees, so I don't have the heart to cut it.
Yeah.
At times, I have no problem. Like the ash, most of the ash at home now it's grand. I'm looking at some of the trees and they're still budding, so they're still growing, so I'm going to leave them. But I've noticed a few now that are dead, so they're going to come down eventually when I get time to cut them.
Do you do anything else on the farm there, the sheep? Do you keep any other animals?
No, we have 16 cows and a bull.
Oh, very good.
So we're sucklers. So we've 4 calves at the moment. So the calves are slow. I think in March now again they'll start calving again. But we've early mornings. Of course, we're up at about 5:30, 6. I'm in the door at 7:15, ready for work and into work then for 8. And
you keep them in for the winter, slatted shed or that?
yeah. So the cows are in slash shed and the sheep are in slatted unit as well. The sheep slats.
Oh, how do you find them?
I think it's the greatest thing we ever built.
Right.
So we built it 2 years ago. Well, obviously for lambing early, it's the greatest thing.
Yeah.
So, okay, now we do have to extend because there's not enough room.
Yeah.
So that's going to be extended probably in the next couple of years. We'll have a bit of work to do, but we're going to extend it just to have another pin that, when the sheep have lambed, that they can just go there. Like they're out, the lambs, and back to lambs, I know. They're out every day they're out in the morning about 6 o'clock and they go back in about 4. They're grazing ground that we have ready for them, and they're happy, and they come in and they have their hay and whatever they have in the evening, and they're happy. It's round the roundabout every day, in out.
To get used to it.
What they do, like at the start with lambs, they're a pain in the backside to get out of a door. But now they run out and so they're ahead of their mothers. We
do keep our ones in full time for about 3 or 4 days. Well, depending on the weather, but about 3 days and then out.
Yeah, no,
out is out. So it is.
They're in for depending again. You said depending on the weather. But I suppose down in Kerry we're getting an awful amount of rain.
Yeah,
and it's probably the same up here. I
imagine.
It
is. Yeah.
Which is just like what my mother was in Offaly last weekend. The glorious weather, and we were down pissing rain.
Yeah.
So we get a fair amount of rain down the southwest, but there's nothing we can do at times. You still have to go. It could be hailing, snow. You still have to go out and tend to the animals.
Yeah.
No matter what weather it is.
Well, we have here now. I have to put up a couple of sheds in that because the situation we used to run the 2 places side by side and bring them out to mum and dad's, the home place for lambing or that. But now I have to get on track with that because the home place is going to the sister. So I imagine she doesn't want to see me coming with an Eire Williams at 2 o'clock in the morning. You have a family then as well?
Yeah, I've herself. We're together 17 years now, married 11 years this July, and I have a 5-year-old Leah and 3-year-old Quiva. So I have 2 girls.
Ah, very good.
For my sins.
Yeah, well, I blessed as them amongst women and all that. Isn't that the one? What's it called? You're big on TikTok, in my view. I do enjoy watching your stuff and that, but Jesus Christ, you do tolerate some abuse on it that I wouldn't tolerate, so you do.
I suppose the trolls / hate is, I suppose it's getting worse. It was all about, pardon the fingers, stolen chainsaw, but now it's just, I'm called a coward, a cunt, I'm called a robber, I don't know, I've given up on what else I've been called.
So someone accused you of stealing a chainsaw?
Yeah, about...
And it stuck.
That's how it started.
Yeah, fill us in, because I wouldn't have a clue anyway.
No.
Yeah, no, I bought... It's a small little Echo chainsaw.
They're a good little saw.
Oh, I love it. Bought it from a company called Allo Sales in Killarney. And I posted a video on TikTok, as you do, saying I bought a new saw. One fella came in and said that I stole it from somewhere, I can't remember where. And that's where it started. I got loads of comments and I was doing reply videos, and sure, it got worse and worse. And then my following started growing a little bit. And then I posted about my MS390 still that I got for my 30th birthday. And that was also stolen. And sure, that grew more. And then I just recently bought still 261. That was stolen. So that was stolen, I think, apparently in...
So these are random heads.
Absolutely random heads. One said I was stolen in Mayo. Of course, because David's in Mayo, sure. Where was it? They're all stolen from somewhere around Mayo. Anyway, I can't remember where.
Do you ever think, though, that this just could be people that they see that you react to something and then they keep at it?
Oh, probably. And
I said the same thing to you as I said to David. Why don't you delete them?
Yeah, no, I've done a few reply videos, but I suppose I've noticed after time, I suppose it does, annoy me. So nowadays I see the comments and I delete the comments and I block them. Like I have one video, there is about 10 comments that are hidden that are all about, how many saws have I stolen at this stage? Where did I steal this one? Can I buy a saw for cash? Oh, can you give me back my saw? I won't say nothing about it. Give me back the saw. It's like it would get you after a while. So
yeah, but you see, there's another side to this too, though. And a lot of the people who are doing the trolling are knocking great crack out of it, but they're probably not realising that fellas does take it serious. There is fellas that does take it serious, like,
and it's probably people I know.
Yeah, more than likely.
But
yeah,
there was one fella, he went away for a while, but he came back, and I gave him a bit of attention, and he commented that he wanted a fist fight. As you do. I replied, I said, I'm travelling the country, I'll meet you anywhere. I'm still waiting for him to come back. No, what did he call it? A knuckle job, I think he called it.
Well, there was a horrible instance in our local town where a local well-known character, a bit of a drinking habit, and some bastard set up a full Facebook account with his face and, various pictures of him and the whole lot, and then just started abusing everyone in the community using this account. And it had awful ramifications because some fella put him up in the pub one evening, put him up to the wall. They thought it was genuinely him.
He had no idea what was going on.
Sure, the poor man, he only had a little Nokia phone.
Yeah.
No such thing as a laptop or anything like that. Yeah. But it just goes to show you, it does go on, like.
It does, and that's the one thing I think that we're missing in the last 20 years. Like, a bit of devilment was always a bit of crack. And,
everyone takes it very serious now, so they do. But I seen that Shane James was above here from Tipperary. Have you spotted any of his stuff?
That's the one you done the live with.
He's stone mad on chainsaws and stuff like that, and came up here cutting trees along with myself, and Jesus Christ, we had a great time. We ate the best of venison and drank whiskey and went round cutting up trees. Mighty crack. But he does take, and he wouldn't mind me saying it because I've said it to him in person, he does take them awful serious. And you can tell what they're doing is they know this is what turns his...
They know the buttons.
They know the buttons, yeah. But he lets them press them. Yeah. Whereas I kind of just roar laughing at it. And I knew it for definite because there was 3 in particular that were really abusing him. And the minute that he left and went to the toilet, they started commenting, don't tell him, James. Don't tell him that, this is just faceless people who are trying to wind you up, So, yeah.
Yeah, no, like the only reason I use the official name on TikTok is because there were so many fake accounts using my picture and everything. So I put in Darren Hampton Official to show there is only one official page that I use, and that's the only reason there is Darren Hampton Official.
Yeah.
Why my brother, when he calls me out, is saying Darren Hampton Official is here. I was like, just call me by my name. I don't need the official.
Well, I've been catfished. Someone is using my... there's a picture of me on the podcast, a picture of me in front of Sydney Harbour, another one of me in Dubai, and it's on Tinder. I can't fucking get over who got these pictures because they're from fucking Facebook accounts way, way back,
So they are real photos, like?
Oh, no, it's 100% real photos. Yeah. And then podcaster, world traveller, all this thing. And apparently whoever it is doing very well for themselves. They're getting plenty of attention. But yeah, herself brought it to my attention and says, this isn't you. And I went, no, what the fuck? I said, I says, I can barely stand one, let alone another fucking one. But anyways, yeah, someone is doing it. And it's getting plenty of attention. And there's been dates organised and no one turning up for them. And then women fucking the head of other women saying, don't heed him, he's only a bollocks and all this. Yeah. Ladies, it's not me. I'm happily married, I'm afraid to fucking tell you. Were you ever having that, though? That's why you had to go down the official route. Everyone was...
Only with the fake accounts. Like, I have 2 accounts. My previous account name was Darren Harrington, and I had the official, Darren Harrington Official. Now, one came up recently, is the Darren Harrington Official fan club. I have no idea, so I just blocked them.
But a fan club?
I don't...
Jeez, that was a nice thing to have.
Does it cost to get into the fan club, like?
Yeah.
They all join.
Are they charging?
I don't know, but see, there's so many...
That's when you're doing real well.
Even for yourself, there's people stealing your podcast content, whatever, it's going to be So there's anything I post, someone is reposting it as me or whatever, using my name, my picture, everything, and I don't need it.
Yeah.
Someone could say something, and then that gets me in trouble. So for me, there is only one account, and that's my.
There's a ball of pages doing that though, that they take clips from podcasts and then they put this real emotional music around the back of it, and they get 7 or 8 times the views that your podcast gets. Do you know? Like I seen one.
We'd have to get an orchestra in here.
Oh, I'm fucking a full brass band, yeah. Well, the one I done with David Cuddy, this fella, he took one sentence. I says, "Have you seen how they're fitting out the army camps?" I think it's no, it wasn't Bull McCabe. One of them fellas. And he had the presence of mind to do drone shots of the camps, and you can see that they're extending them. And then you have this thing at the moment where they're going to get rid of the triple lock and join us to NATO and the whole lot. So David said that when he was up. He says, "Jeez," he says, "you wanted to start taking clips yourself because you were on the ball with a lot of the stuff you said." But it's amazing. That has, I think, 400,000 or 500,000 views.
It's travelling anyway.
It's travelling.
Yeah.
But sure, where are they for looking at the likes of this?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Sure, people has the attention span of a fucking goldfish, though. Do you know what I mean? They only want, have you noticed that? They only want short videos. Little videos.
A lot of people, they're all about was it 10 or 20 second videos or something. Like I posted a video from, I was at a show in Killarney. I think it was 20 minutes long.
Huh?
I think it's 20 minutes long. It was some do music or something. But it was, obviously know Dick Pierce on 3FM.
Yeah.
So I was at his show, and the first fella was another DJ, and they said, "Oh, that's not Dick Pierce." And I said, "Watch the whole video." The first fella wasn't Dick Pierce; he was another DJ. And sure, no one watched. They only watched the first few seconds. They didn't watch the rest of it. It was all Dick Pierce, bar the very first clip.
Yeah.
But then someone said, "Fuck you for putting up a 20-minute video." I didn't care. If you're going to, sure, half the time people don't watch all my videos anyway. You could see some people might only watch like 10 seconds of the video.
Are you getting any benefit from the social media, though?
Apart from the hate, no.
Do you know what I mean?
No, there's no, like, I'm not in it for any benefit. I just do it. I post videos for the fun, and I have a small following. And sure, if they watch it, they watch it. If they don't, they don't.
Yeah.
If they don't like it, they don't like it. If they do, they do. Sure, it's not my fault if they don't like it.
Yeah.
But like, I post my bit of farming. It's funny, most of them I think it's farming and chainsaw.
Yeah.
But my 3 biggest videos are all weather related.
Right.
So I have one video that's 160,000 views of, is that snow or flood? I think it's a flood somewhere around, was it a couple in Mayo? I can't remember. Another one is snow. We're driving back, we're going up to Mayo on delivery, but we got stuck in Newcastle West because the snow was so bad. Mm-hmm. So we're travelling back, and the queue of cars going into Newcastle West there was miles of traffic that just couldn't move. That has 90,000 views, and then there was a video of a flood at home that David still gives out to me for this, because my mother took the video and sent it to me, and I posted it on TikTok. I think I have 120,000 views on it.
Yes.
He said to her, waiting to send it to me.
And would you be competitive on the TikTok thing? No.
Yeah, no, he thinks that I suppose I do love weather. I love hearing about storms and whatever. But he thinks.
And what's your thoughts on the weather now? Would you?
Big storm tomorrow, Darren.
I know. Like the time of Storm Ewan, we were in Mayo, and we left Kerry on the Thursday. We got up on the Thursday night because we said the storm could be bad, so we came to preview the night before. 3:00 that Friday morning, the power went, and it was a nightmare for that whole weekend. Because the whole of Kiltamore, the whole of Mayo lost power.
Yeah.
Of course, David had the christening of his second child. The church was freezing. There were no shots were open. Everything was fucked.
Yeah. No, we were on about it a good bit up here because myself and Darren here would be big into trying to tell people to kind of prep for these things. Do you know?
Yeah.
To have the solid fire and stuff like that. And unfortunately, what was PR out? Was it 20 days or something like that, was it?
Yeah, it was something serious, like, yeah.
You know, the novelty wears off pretty quick.
Yeah, I suppose.
So it does.
She still reckons the power isn't right. She still thinks that there's less kind of.
I'd say what she got was a surge, you know.
Yeah.
I reckon she got a power surge when
I
they
suppose
opened it up again.
we're lucky in Ireland now that we have two fairly good weather reporters in Carlo Weather and Ireland's Weather Channel.
Yeah.
Because they are both pretty exact in what is going to happen.
Yeah.
Whereas sometimes you can't take my turn. You can take my turn with a pinch of salt.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Like, you know.
Would you watch the weather every day?
No. Well, I watch them. Like, I barely watch television as it is.
Yeah.
I just don't have fucking time, to be honest with you.
Good man.
Between work and the farm and the kids, it's the only bit of time I watch is my iPad at night time before I go to bed.
Yes.
That's about it. You know, Sunday now is our normal television. We watch the Dancing with the Stars and whatever else is on. But, you know, we have the few things we watch, like, but I barely watch TV.
Who's the stars on it?
Oh, Jesus, there's what? There's Reese McLean. He won the gold medal in the Olympics.
Oh, is he the gymnast, is it?
Pommel horse.
Yes.
There's the one that does the, I think of her name, does the miming. She's somewhere up is it the north? I can't think of her first name. Who else is there? There's Buster Brady from Mrs. Brown's.
Yes.
Whatever, Danny Carroll is his real name, should I say. Who else is there? There's another gymnast. I can't think of his first name. Who else? Like, there's some that I don't know who they would be. There was a weather reporter, but she's gone off it. There's your man, the chef for Soup Value.
And that's kind of telling you, though, where RTE is heading, like the chef out of Super Value. Dancing with the Stars, like.
And God help the man, he can dance.
But you're like, as I'm watching all of this, and I'm starting to think to myself, is there any real celebrity anymore at all? Do you know?
Yeah, like a social media influencer would probably
better
have
known.
more, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
I had to laugh there. Do you know, at the ploughing, there was the anyone there as well. If you see this thing, I got a stub of a fucking blackthorn yesterday, and Darren realised it this morning. Must be filling up. I must put a poultice on it tonight. We were down at the ploughing, and there was feck all interest in the RT tent. Damn all interest in it. But if you went down a couple of lanes, you know where the grassmen were?
Yeah.
So there was a queue all day, the full day. And Marty Moan as well. Your lad bought the number plate of that off him. He was above with me. He had a full queue the whole day.
That's it. He'd know more of them than RTE guys. Or
Yeah.
like that, yeah.
I reckon the television is rigged, you know.
Yeah, no, but see, I suppose RT is not repeat. Like,
It's all repeat.
I know, like they had a great show back a few years ago, and of course there's a lot of talk now about John Connors and what he said about.
Oh, love hate. That's not coming back at all.
No, but that was a great show. They had a great show, but I suppose he really started a storm when he said that Nidge was alive and this and that. But there obviously is something coming with it, but it's not love hate. But sure, be interesting in what does come about him.
He has a podcast there, John Connors. So he does.
Does he?
Yeah, there was a rake of people tagged me. He was starting up a podcast, and he has a film done about Tusla. You know, the child protection services or that.
That's what you call it these days.
I never knew them myself, thank God. But he has a thing done about them, a film coming out about them, and they reckon that's ruffling a sight of feathers. So it is.
Well, I suppose he has always been. He's good for what he does. He does highlight things that people want to see, or people that want to see, but people won't record it. So he does highlight the right things.
Yeah.
At times.
That's the same fella that used to be in Glenroe years ago, or is that a different John Connors?
No, that was Blackie Connors.
Oh, that was Blackie Connors. Yeah.
Not all travellers are the same now, Darren. Stop it. No, that was Blackie Connors.
That's right.
Yeah, he was a great character, so he was. No, this fella's actual name is Connors, John Connors. He's woeful crack. I do enjoy listening to him. And I think he's going doing a climb at Crowpatrick in March or April or that. I'm going to head down if I get a chance and climb it.
If we are up here in the summer again, I'm definitely going to climb Crowpatrick again.
How did you find getting up? It was it tough for?
I enjoyed it. I suppose I had some bit of fitness with the farming and whatnot, like, but I took myself, my brother, and my mother and father. We all climbed it. So my father went with me, God help him, and David, I suppose, carried my mother up the hill.
Yeah,
but it was grand. We made it to the top.
Was it a clear day?
Oh,
cloud.
It was freezing.
Oh.
I never felt cold like I felt up there.
And what time of year was it?
When was it that we climbed? Was it June or July or something? I don't know, but
It shouldn't have been that cold.
we were climbing and it was clear. Once we started to get to the high climb, it started getting cloudy, and we didn't stay long. I could just about see the church,
Yeah.
just about.
Well, me and Gart climbed it in, what days was it? 20, whenever the winter solstice was.
Yeah,
We got up to the top. Now you'd want to be well wrapped, so you would. And we were coming down the climb again. And do you know where the first set of steps is up to the statue?
yeah.
We met 3 young black lads who were in shorts and shirts. And they were going. And they said, "What's it like at the top?" And I says, "Oh, don't worry, you'll know when you get there." So and we were having, before we set off home again, we were having a flask of tea and sandwiches, and we met our new neighbours coming down the hill again. They got up so far and realised they weren't dressed for the occasion, so they did, you know.
Yeah, no, like I seen a recent video there on TikTok of drone footage of around the church. And
Yeah.
it's like, when you go up there, how come I couldn't get it the day I was up there?
Yeah.
You know, like it's amazing what you couldn't see on the other. You get to the top and you can't see what's the other side.
Yeah.
Because it was like nighttime.
There's usually good weather around that Pilgrim Sunday. I think that's July. I think it's July that Pilgrim Sunday is
I
on.
think myself and David said if we go up again, we're going to climb it.
Was the steps in it when you climbed it?
Yeah, I've never climbed it without the steps.
Yeah, yeah.
And you know, I've heard some people say it's easier with the steps, it's easier without. I can only say about with, and it reminded me I was climbing the stairs.
I didn't like it at all because I used to climb it with my father most years when we were younger, and there was none of this old steps or that. And what was in it was the path was the only bit that was hard to climb at that time was the last bit because you'd have to watch out for the stones rolling and that. Whereas now it's just a staircase the whole way up, so you're never meeting level ground at all. You're constantly stepping, you know. Yeah. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit.
I don't know. No, I'm hoping now. My mother wants to go do a bit of mountain climbing and stuff.
What age is she?
She's in her 60s.
Fair play to her.
So she said, "Darren, we'll go somewhere." I was like, "Yeah, we'll start easy." So,
what's that one there, Queen Maids? Carrickeel, is it? Knocknaray. That's a nice climb.
You know, because we started with the hard one a number of years ago. It's the start of Operation Transformation. When I started in RT, I set up a walking group in Khmer. It was the Khmer Walking Wonders. And so I think we had about 40 or 50 that were walking around Khmer with me. It was great fun. Everyone got out walking and whatever. And at the end of it, the Khmer Walking Club came to me and said, because everyone that walked it done so well, whatever, they took us on a guided walk up Carrauntoohil. So I never thought I'd do Carrauntoohil, but I loved it, and we got the clearest day at the very top.
Yeah.
All you could see from miles was gorse fires. And
really?
You could see some part of Dingle, like, you know, Carrauntoohil is a good bit away from Dingle, but you could see some part of Dingle from the distance.
There must be a hell of a view when you're above at the top of Carrauntoohil now.
Oh, like you can
That's
see,
Ireland's tallest, isn't it?
yeah, you can see from miles. If it's clear, it's miles and miles you can see.
What's it like
If
to
ever
climb?
you come down, we'll climb it.
Huh?
If ever you come down, we'll climb it.
Oh, I'll climb it, no bother at all. What's it like compared to Crowpatrick? Tougher?
Cropatrick is tougher.
I would have thought that.
Yeah, like obviously with Carrauntoohil, you have two ways of going up and down.
Right.
You've O'Shea's Gully is the easier way to go up and down, and then you've Devil's Ladder to go up and down. So we went up O'Shea's Gully and came down Devil's Ladder. Myself and David, basically, I suppose you could say we ran down Devil's Ladder. Shouldn't have, but we did.
Yeah.
Made it down fairly quickly.
But there's the other one as well that'll be on about that. You know, Mount Everest is the highest, but anyone that's at it reckons that K2, the second highest one, is far harder to climb. Claims more lives per year. But that's what it is. They reckon the K2 one you're just straight up from the beginning. Do you know? Whereas Everest you have a couple, let's say, rest places.
Yeah.
But they leave the bodies up there. That's the worst bit of it. I was chatting to a lad there. He's from Antrim that done Everest. And he says the one thing you're not prepared for is setting up camp and 5 or 6 fellas dead beside you, just frozen in time. Because it's too dangerous to get them down.
Madness, really, isn't
Yeah,
it?
and he reckons there's a lot of them up there. That's why you're not seeing so much footage of it.
I wonder, is there much wildlife up there?
No,
No.
they're just frozen, and it's bad. Do you know? If you want, say your young fella or something died on it, and you wanted to get him home, you would have to get a team of Sherpas and a full-on ensemble of people to do that job, and it costs a lot of money. So they reckon that most of them just wind up being left there. So they do.
Yeah, no, I don't think I'll be climbing Everest anytime.
I never say never. You could do it, Mr. Darren Harren, official is the man. We don't want any confusion. It's not one of the, what do you call them, the doppelgangers that we have here, so it's not, it's the real one. What do you think of Morris's calendar? This is the Long Acres calendar now. I'm getting a little bit... It was sound when Morris had the two dogs at the beginning of it, but it's getting a little bit erotic now all of a sudden, so it is.
I'm sure it happens.
Huh?
It happens.
Yeah, there's no blondie fella there kissing a horse, so there is. So what's the plans with regards to the TikTok? Do you want to grow it, or do you want to get it into a business?
No, I never really go into business. Like I've had people message me privately and say, would I not go into the timber full time? But I'm at timber full time. I'm doing the tables and benches and coffee tables and whatever for Mango.
Yeah.
So we're doing them and delivering around the country, and then I'm at the timber. Most weekends I'm doing it on a Saturday or Sunday. I'm cutting timber. So I'm at timber full times, and it's been a while since I could say I was happy in a job.
Yeah.
I worked in retail for years.
Yes.
For 14 years in a local shop. And when I left that, I couldn't settle in a job. I was going from here to there to here to there. And this one came up, and the best decision I ever made.
Retail is difficult.
Yeah, I'd done it for 14 years, and I suppose if things hadn't changed the way it changed, I'd probably still be there. But I suppose I had a falling out with one of the bosses, and in the end I said it was just time to go.
Yeah.
And
What were you selling? Was it kind of hardware?
so it was a shop in Khmer. It's basically sold everything from needle to haystack. So I was mostly in the paint.
Oh, yeah.
So I was doing all the paint mixing and whatnot. So I was trained by an older gentleman there. And then when I got married, I didn't know at the time, but when I got married, he left. They never told me before if I might have got married then if I'd known. No, I'm joking. No, so he left after I got married, and then I was kind of put into the reins of the head paint person there, and it was grand. And then I suppose just didn't get on with that someone. And
Yeah, well, that happens.
In the end, I told herself, I said, I have to go, and said, go. And it took a bit of time. I went into hotel work. I went into groundworks. I went driving buses. Yeah.
Do you have the bus license? You do?
I have a full D and D1, and I have a C.
Because there'd be good old demand down your way for a coach fella, wouldn't there?
Yeah, no, I was working with a local driver, and I suppose we were doing weddings.
Yeah.
And I got the short straw of bringing them to the wedding, and then there's a hotel that does, well, no, I suppose not a hotel, it's a venue that does weddings and wedding receptions. So I got the short straw of doing the nighttime runs.
Yes.
So I was going there at about 11 o'clock at night, and I wasn't getting home till 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And then you have two young kids coming into you at 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
You were tired.
Of course you were.
And so I done it for the summer, and then I suppose it got a bit quieter because I didn't have a taxi license. Kept telling me to get a taxi license, but I didn't want to drive a taxi, to be honest with you. I was happy enough driving the buses, and it happened that things got quieter, and then I didn't have anything, and in the end I left. And then I went driving a truck with a local company, a dumper truck.
Yeah.
Done that for a small while. Ended up seeing that I wasn't prepared for doing that. So I left that, and I'm here now since with Mango, and
Happy
as a pig in shite.
Yeah. Well, that's the main thing.
I suppose the lads are the soundest that I work for. Yes, I probably break their heart at times. At times. But I've learned a lot in the year I've been there, and I'm still learning, and I will continue to learn.
Yeah. Timber is a beautiful thing to work with, though.
Yeah, like sure what we do, like with tables. I'll say I don't do the resining, but it's Niall himself now that does all the resining. But you can see what a bare piece of wood comes from to what it's finished with us. It's amazing to see.
Yeah.
Like-
Well, I do follow that page as well, and the furniture that they're putting out is like something you'd see in a Hollywood movie. So it is. It's absolutely. I don't know what price it is, and I don't want to know. I know I can't afford it yet because I'm just looking at it, and it is absolutely serious. So it is.
Yeah, like it's all imported.
Yeah.
From Thailand at the moment.
Yeah.
So all timber is coming from a wood originally from South Africa, but now it's all coming from Thailand.
You must see some beautiful houses on your travels.
Oh, we've seen a fair. Yeah, we've seen some houses.
Yeah.
Like we've done a lot of work in Dublin.
Yeah.
Okay, we travelled the whole countryside, but yeah, no, we've seen some nice houses.
Yeah.
Like there's one in the north we went to. I won't say what was in it, but like, how can you afford it? How can you afford it at times?
Yeah. Because look at, they're beautiful tables, there's no doubt, but you would have to be of a certain economic status before you'd consider a purchase like that, you know? It wouldn't be like this fella here and now does a chipboard. Put a cloth on it, it looks the same.
It works for you, that's the main thing. Like, but you know, eventually we might get a mango table inside here.
Oh, Jesus, I'll tell you, maybe one day when the thing is going real well, or there's a massive recession, they might do a discount on them then. That could do us the world of good. So
no, I don't know how we get in the door, but we'll figure it out.
Now, this hat here, we have a selection of cups. It's a good buddy of yours that does all this work. So
that would be my workshop boss.
Yeah. Tell us about him.
Follow him on TikTok at LetterMe. Niall, he does a lot of merch. He does cups, he does hats, he does engraving, he does 3D. What else does the man do? He does signs, he can do things on slate. You name it, he can make it.
And you need to follow him on Leather Me.
Call him.
I've been furnished here with another little thing. It's absolutely beautiful. Hold on now.
This is mango.
Look at that. Every family has one, the black sheep. So I'll be hanging that up. I'll be hanging that up when I get another cup hook up there. So I will. Niall does absolutely savage stuff, and he's a really nice fella.
Oh,
so
no, he's a gent, in fairness to him.
Now I nearly lit that air with the cigarette. And we'll be getting a full line of merchandise fairly shortly, isn't it, Darren? Hats and cups and shirts and jumpers, and we'll have the Leather Me stuff, and well, we won't declare it yet, we have to meet the man or that, but a local fella to here as well will be trying to get his stuff pumped out. So
absolutely.
If you head to the website there, James Conway exp.com, you'll be able to see that when it happens. Yeah, exactly, when we get it up and running.
Yeah.
So the plan there, Darren, you're at the furniture, you're at the farming. Will you ever get bigger at the farming, do you think?
I don't know.
Are you happy at the pitch you're at it?
Yeah, I suppose I may as well put it out there. Herself is the main farmer.
That's all right. That's what our house was like for years.
She's the boss.
Yes.
And she's the name on the land and everything, and it's her, so whatever she decides, as the saying goes, happy wife, happy life.
Yes, that's it.
So would we get more sheep? I don't know. We'd have to get a bigger shed. I think shed's made for 120 ewes.
Yeah.
But you can imagine when you have lambs, you won't get 120 ewes with all the lambs. So I think we have about 100 lambs now so far.
How many, what's your ratio like for lambing? Do you know, would it be 1.6 or 1.8 or something like that? Or?
Probably about the 1.6, I suppose, yeah.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, probably about the 1.6. So, you know, like, we're looking now.
Well, 2 lambs ideally to each ewe. So if you were lambing at a 2, that'd mean that you had 2 lambs to each ewe. 1.6 is good, you're making money or that. Okay. We're at 1.97 so far. This year. Yeah. This is a really good year so far. So if we can get all of them to killing,
right?
Yeah, we're in the money.
Yeah, no,
what do you reckon they're going to fetch?
Oh, there'll be big money this year. There's no,
like, I don't know. It's been about 3 or 4 years since I bought one.
I reckon
butchered 108.
I reckon. Oh, butchered? No, not a chance. I got 203, 204 for Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
at the Mart.
Yeah.
I reckon around Easter time this year, you could be looking at 200, 210.
That's good.
Yeah. It's not everyone has them ready for Easter, though.
No, but it's nice as well, especially if you're putting them out on grass. I mean, like, you're not feeding so much.
To have them ready for Easter, you'd have to pump them with nuts now. So
would
you would.
you?
Yeah. I reckon if it goes to June, July time, maybe the 160, 170 mark. Lamb is good at the moment. It's very good at the moment. And there's no stock. The amount of fellas up here that used to have hundreds of sheep, and now the place is fucking planted with trees. So, like, everyone thinks, oh, well, just because Johnny down the road died, sure, someone else will take over. No, they're planting the places. So, I'm talking to a lot of fellas now. I don't know what it's like down your way, but the earth is after falling out of the forestry up here. There's 17 acres of 20-year-old forestry there in Mayo. How much do you think they're asking for it? Have a think. Well, if it wasn't planted, you'd be getting 8, 9 for it.
Right.
An acre.
Yeah.
70 is the asking price. That is crazy low.
Yeah.
And 20-year timber on it. Something's gone badly wrong. I think an awful lot have been hoodwinked into this forestry. No money for it.
And then they have to replant.
Yeah, but it's tied into replanting now. But if that's 20 years old, you get no grant on it at all. It'll be another 20, 30 years before you're cutting it. I reckon an awful lot of people have been hoodwinked into this. They weren't thinking about that the price of it would go down. It's already going down massively.
Well, is that compared to the 2020 high? Is it like,
I don't know. I don't think the market is there for it, Darren.
Well, and anyone that kind of had a lot of stuff, like the amount of storm damage now on trees in shite and...
But sure, as you were saying there, they won't give you the insurance on the...
That's it, yeah.
On storm damage.
And as Shane was saying, you need sawmen in with the machines.
And they have to be paid.
And they have to be paid.
Yeah, because they're falling, so I don't think the machines can pick them up as easy when they're down.
No, because he has no way of tracking in. Because if you go into a rake of wind blowing or that, he can't exactly track across everything and then take a track off or something like that. So,
You need to understand, then you can make your track.
Yeah.
But, like, I think our forestry is 32 years old.
Yes.
And
how long more than for cutting?
We've done 2 tinnings.
Yes. So you're doing it right.
Yeah, so there may be a third tinning, and it may go clear fell. We don't know. The problem we had, it should have been tinned about 5 years ago. But the rigmarole that went on with some fella up the country.
Oh, the licensing, wasn't it?
He was in Wicklow.
Appealing every felon licence.
Yeah.
So my mother applied for the felon licence when my daughter was born in October. It took 5 years to get it. So everything was 5 years behind. So, don't know what there were in talks now with either doing another tin or clear fill, so we're not too sure what we're going to do. But if the storms keep happening, they're going to keep blowing over.
Yeah.
And there will be nothing left.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't really say because I'm cutting it anyway myself when it falls. But there's a good shot of hardwood inside in the forest, So we're doing a good job in the hardwood. It's amazing what hardwood can grow around spruce.
Well, I'm in a funny old situation there. Do you know the bit up the road there, Darren? And it was in, what year was it the fires was?
Oh, jeez. 2018, I'd say.
2018 or that. But anyways, the fire burnt, oh, Jesus Christ, there must have been 30 acres of it. But it didn't skip there was a big mairn and drain. So there's another 8 or 9 acres out there so that was still growing. But to thin that, you'd have to make a bridge for the machinery to get in and a roadway from the front. So it's left us in an awful situation. And then we're in an argument now about replanting because it's a cutaway bog, which should never have been planted. It was the uncle who planted it in 97. So it's all cutaway bog. So I says to your man, the forester, I says, if I came to you with that land now and asked you to plant it, would I be allowed to? He went, oh, no. But I says, you're asking me to replant it. Yeah. I said, how can I replant something that you wouldn't plant in the first place? So my theory for it is fence off the whole lot of it, get a scatter of them, what's it called, them wild pigs, boar, is it, or that?
Yeah, wild boars.
Yeah. And I'll make little pens in there and then start feeding them like blazes in it. And sure, surely to God they'll root up Everton at some stage. I'd rather see something native planted in it. Do you know?
Yeah.
Even if it was only bog ash or something, I'd rather see that.
Yeah,
like.
where we got the first pigs kind of back in 2021 or something like that. Went up to Leitrim, that's what they were at.
Yeah.
They literally had bought forestry, an old house in it, and they just had a good fence, and sure there was enough in it. They never really went through any fences or anything.
Had they an electric one on the outside of it?
No. Yeah.
Jesus.
But it was just enough ground, I think, you know.
Well, there's a fella there, if anyone wants to look at it, Richard Perkins in Sweden, and he's cutting old pine because, as he says, it's a desert. There's only one thing growing. Nothing is growing underneath. No wildlife whatsoever. And he's cutting that, and then he's putting pigs in, and the pigs turn up everything like a rotavator. And then native trees are growing, and the pig, this is the strange thing about the pig, he won't go near them. The native ones, he won't. So, you know, everyone thinks, pigs is very damaging and that. They're not. Pig is quite happy in woodland. He won't eat the saplings and stuff like that when he has enough to eat. Now, he'll scratch against them and that. You have to be careful of that. But if you have scratching posts through it, he'll quite gladly go back to the one scratching post and all that. So, well,
Right, yeah.
That's worth looking at. I think most people should look at it. What are you into the football at all, below? You're a Kerry man. You have a good old team.
You cannot be interested if you're from Kerry.
Yes.
You know, we wouldn't be doing too well at the moment. Like, you know, we've lost our few home games, whatever, you know, but...
What's that book? Is it Clifford or that?
Yeah.
Crazy some player.
David Clifford, and of course, then Shawnee be about 5 minutes from my mother's home place.
That's the brother, is it?
No, Shawnee Shea. He'd be...
He's a good player.
He was the minor with David Clifford, and they won the 5 in a row at the minors. So, between the two of them, you know, we had a few local ones on the Kerry team, a few from Kemare and Timbalno. But there's not a huge... There's only Shawnee left now, I think. I'm not sure there's anyone else.
It must be a way of life down there.
Or I suppose it is, you know, like I suppose if you're Uncle Kenny, you get born with a hurl in your hand.
Yeah.
And Kerry, you're born with football.
Yeah.
It's the only way of putting it. I know we have hurling, but that's all North Kerry. So, you know, it's hard to get into the Kerry hurling ownership of North Kerry. Like Kilgarvan, I suppose, would have a good hurling stronghold background. But you couldn't get anyone in Kilgarvan. That's a fella on the Kerry team at the moment, actually, playing the Kerry seniors. He's from Kilgarvan, playing football.
Oh, very good, very good.
So, which I say, I think he's probably the first person from Kilgarvan to play football.
And was yourself and David big into the football growing up, or that?
Or we were, you know, like I suppose we'd always. My father was a huge Kerry fan, so like my mother's from Offaly, so between the football and the hurling, we love both.
Yeah.
So of course, I'd be an avid Limerick supporter when it comes to hurling. I always have loved Limerick hurling, and that's just the way it's been. David has unfortunately been Cork for some reason.
Hurling?
Yeah, always Cork hurling. I don't know why. I don't know how a Kerry man could put on a Cork jersey.
Okay. David is a unique enough character too, so he'd be a controversial fellow when he got... Now, I want to talk to you something. David saw something in the sky.
Oh, here we go.
I was thinking of that myself. You robbed me question.
I have found out since this man was along with him.
Oh, go away.
And I think we got half the story.
Oh, go on.
So go on, tell us now what you seen.
See, I can't say exactly what we see. It's hard to explain.
It was aliens.
I'm still, yeah. So we were coming out of it. I suppose it was around 99, 2000. I think it was. My mother said I was young either way. So we were coming out of Burr, and I suppose the car. There's a couple of cars with different groups of us going back to my mother's home place in Offaly, and the cars just kind of started going on their own as if they came in under a trance. The way I'm explaining it probably sounds crazy. Sometimes I think I'm crazy. So they just kind of started rolling on their own, and we had no control over the cars for about 5 minutes. That was fine. So everything came back to some bit normal. We went back to the house, and we saw something in the sky that flew past the house, but don't know what it was. And then I was outside. I was looking for my David and my cousin, and I couldn't find them. And I seen something coming by a fence. The fence was about 6 foot tall or something to that effect. And I thought for full sure it was David and my cousin. And nothing answered, so I called. I know it's you, David and my cousin, and no answer. So I ran inside. They were inside the house. All I could see was something extremely tall behind the fence. I could see some piece of it, but I'm still to this day. I've been told I was seeing things. I can only tell from experience.
What did it look like?
See, I could only see a tiny piece of it.
Was it like shadowy?
I suppose the way you could put it, yeah. I'm full sure, but see, it was what? So David would have been about 12, maybe 12, 13. So he wasn't too tall. He wasn't 6 foot tall back then.
Yeah.
So I still don't know what it was. Isn't
that a better story?
I'll never get the answer. Like,
and this all occurred around Burr, around Offaly.
Yeah, around Offaly. And I will never have an answer.
And did you see the blue lights?
It was green, was it? He said.
I thought it was
Blue, was it?
Yeah.
I can't remember what different colour the lights were, but then kind of in a neighbour's field, there was kind of a round patch of flat grass that something landed in. This is what I can remember. Now, I was young. Maybe I was fucking seeing things I don't know, but I'm still to this day believe I saw something I shouldn't have seen.
Yeah.
And sure, people think I'm mad, but sure.
And I don't think anyone is mad. I do enjoy the stories. And see, I think this is half the problem. People now is afraid to say anything, do you know?
That's the truth.
And I was chatting to an old fella a long time ago, and he was on the way home from Killarney, and he reckons that he woke up 2 days later somewhere else, right? And I do say, if that happened to you now, no one would tell you that, do you know? But this old fellow was adamant. I was on the way home from Killarney, and then 2 days later I woke up someplace else. Do you know? What did they call it around here? Was it a stir or something? There was a name on it.
There was, but it had a lot to do with
Putching.
with that. Actually,
Serious amount to do with putching, yeah.
And
know?
fairies. They reckon, like you see, there was a lot of talk about fairies around here from the older men years.
Oh, yeah.
And they weren't afraid to talk about it.
No,
Or to,
no.
So.
It's a strange thing, though. When did that change? Do you know?
Yeah.
Because I remember Matt. Well, I don't remember it. The only thing is she has no reason for it now. But when we were in the house first, the facilities was, we'll say, normal enough. You know, we were doing up the house and all that. And there was a good period where there was a sink, kinda, but the drainage bit wasn't connected and all that. So you used to throw out the basin. And she always used, when she come to the door, watch out now, and then throw the basin. I was thinking to myself, who the fuck is she talking to her that?
Yeah.
And I says to her, why do you say watch out? She says there could be an old fairy passing or something. You wouldn't want to drown them wet.
You see, this is it. It's like you were on about cutting down that tree for the crows, and I was thinking to myself, geez, you know, years ago, no one would upset the fucking crows.
No.
You know?
Oh, I fuck the crows at this stage.
Yeah. You weren't on for moving all the bales animals there as they were.
You'll get sick after the while of taping the fucking things.
Yeah.
But you know, the
I
horse
know.
are picking.
Did you ever put the tyre on top of them?
I've done the tires, I've done CDs.
Yes.
We even had the really tall bird thing that with the wind, that flies with the wind.
Yeah, it's a fella, he's only down the road that does that.
Yeah.
That makes it.
But that didn't work either.
No.
The problem we had, you'd come back to the cowshed, and there must be about 20 crows inside the cowshed. And then they'd all come and they'd fly.
Would you have feed in front of them all the time?
Yeah, the silage, yeah.
No, but nuts on anything, no.
You only get nuts on occasion, most time it's silage.
Because I do feed all the hens now inside, because oh Lord, suffering Christ, I was fattening every bird in the country there at one stage, so I was, do you know?
Yeah.
There was blackbirds there and you'd think there were turkeys. It's not a word of a lie. So I started feeding all inside. And then the problem when you're feeding inside is the mice, do you know? Mice. Yeah. So herself got cats, and now there must be 7 cats. It's very difficult to to get on top of these problems because, if you have one cat, then another cat seems to join it. And then if they see two cats around, people isn't afraid to drop off more cats.
Yeah, no, we have 2 cats at home. One of them is a farmer cat. You could nearly put him on a leash and he'll walk with you.
Yeah.
No matter where we go, he follows.
Yes. Have you a dog for the sheep?
Yeah, we have 3 dogs. Now, dogs don't listen to the father-in-law.
Oh, right.
He's still farming. He's 73.
So the farm you're on is a place you kind of married into, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, very good. Good man. Good man, Darren. Huh? No flies on Darren's diet, huh?
Yeah, no, she was an only daughter, and I suppose we met, and the rest is history.
It all kind of fell into your lap, as the man said.
I wouldn't say that. To be honest with you now, I had no idea she was a farmer or anything.
Yes.
Until after I'd met her. Like, I had no idea what she was or anything. I had no idea that they had land.
Yeah.
A lot of road frontage.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know. I suppose we met, and the rest is history.
And quite happy, as the man says.
Oh, sure. Can't keep her happy. Sometimes it's hard. The sheep keep her happy for some reason.
That's what Dad used to say whenever anyone used to come to, because where I grew up, Mum was the main farmer, and he used to say, "Go talk to the boss. I'm only the boy in the yard." That was what he used to refer to himself as on the farms.
Yeah. And I suppose realistically, it's good to see women farming.
Oh, it is.
There's not enough.
No, there isn't. No. Like as well as that, what I'm starting to enjoy seeing now is women getting involved in trucking and building and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because it's not as bad as it was, we'll say 20 or 30 years ago.
No.
The teleporter took a site of work out of the buildings.
Yeah.
Before the teleporter, there was a site of kind of muck savagery, and I still remember, Dad's brother Martin and that.
When labourers were labourers.
Labourers was labourers, is right, yeah.
That's sure David drove with teleporter when he was younger.
Yeah.
Yeah, for his sins.
Yeah, but Martin, you'd see him there with sills and that, and I'm going up a ladder with a sill, and like that's big, that's heavy, that's heavy work.
Some ladder.
Huh?
Some ladder.
I seen him one day. Do you remember the old bags of cement? Before they went small.
I do. They were twice that.
Yeah, they were 50 kilo. Yeah. He had a barra filled with, I can't remember, was it mix or sand? And then fecked 3 bags of the cement up on top of it and headed away with it. And my dad he says he's a strong man. And the fella that he was working with, he says, I can't keep him in wheelbarrows. He reckons he was just breaking a wheelbarrow every 2 weeks, And he only done it to show off. That was all that he... And then what's it called? Do you remember the 6-inch block? He could hold the 2 of them out like that. That's a fair lift. The 2 6-inch?
Yeah, no, it's good to have some strength.
He was a big man, no more than yourself. Darren, we're going to finish on that note. And where can everyone get you on TikTok?
Yes, simple as to find me, Darren Harrington Official.
And your brother is Eire Haulage, is it?
Eire Haulage.
Eire Haulage, and then follow the 2 of them.
And don't forget to follow Manga Crafts and letter me.
Yeah. The caps, for all your cup or hat needs, head to Leather Me. Thank you, everyone. No.
Oh.
Easy as that.
That is it.
That's the style of it.
Still to come in part 2 of the show.
Governable since I was a fucking toddler. Work with them instead of against them and put a seed in the ground. And when you give people something to believe in, that's the most powerful thing of all. He was stillborn, but the line they took was he was below 500 grams and under 24 weeks. And the horrible bastards at the same time, when I went to war with that fucking horrible cunt of a fucking matron in the hospital, whatever they call it.
Went to do an epidural to induce, and the epidural stopped her heart rate and the May God bless her.
Yeah. It's a new contraceptive, what I've never knew of, and you actually put this chip inside your arm.
Oh God.